Alrighty guys, welcome into this time domain, and in this video we're going to be reading through Ezekiel 4 through 6. So let's get started. Seeds of Jerusalem's Symbolized, Chapter 4. Now, son of man, take a block of clay, put it in front of you, and draw the city of Jerusalem on it. Then lay siege to it. Erect siege works against it. Build a ramp up to it, set up camps against it, and put battering rams around it. Take an iron pan, place it as an iron wall between you and the city, and turn your face toward it. It will be under siege, and you shall besiege it. This will be a sign to the people of Israel. Then lie on your left side, and put the sin of the people of Israel upon yourself. You are to bear their sin for the number of days you lie on your side. I have assigned you the same number of days as the years of their sin. So 390 days you will bear the sin of the people of Israel. After you have finished this, lie down again, this time on your right side, and bear the sin of the people of Judah. I have assigned you 40 days, a day for each year. Turn your face towards the siege of Jerusalem, and with bared arm prophesies against her. I will tie you up with rope so that you cannot turn from one side to the other, but until you finished the days of your siege. Take wheat, barley, beans, and lentils, millet and spelt. Put them in a storage jar and use them to make bread for yourself. You are to eat it during the 390 days you lie on your side. Weigh out 20 shekels of food to eat each day, and eat it at set times. Also, measure out a sixth of hin of water and drink it at a set time. Eat the food as you would a loaf of barley bread. Bake it in the sight of the people, using human excrements for fuel. The Lord said, in this way the people of Israel will defile food again among the nations, where I will drive them. Then I said, no, so sovereign Lord, I have never defiled myself from my youth until now. I have never eaten anything found dead or torn by wild animals. No impure meat has ever entered my mouth. Very well, he said. I will let you bake your bread, cow dung over dung, instead of human excrement. He then said to me, son of man, I am about to cut off the food simply in Jerusalem. The people will eat rationed food in anxiety, and drink rationed water in despair for food. The water will be scarce. They will be appalled at the sight of each other and waste away because of their sins. Alright, so we're on chapter 5 now. God, raiser of judgment. So let's go back to this. Basically he was telling him to match every sin that they did and replace in replacement for stuff that he does, he will forgive their sins, sort of like Jesus Christ. God's razor of judgment, chapter 5. Now, son of man, take a sharp sword and use it as a barber's razor to shave your head and your beard. Take a set of scales and divide up the hair. When the days of your siege come to an end, burn a third of the hair inside the half city. Take a third and strike it with a sword all around the city, and scatter a third to the wind, for I will pursue them with drawn sword. Take a few hairs and tuck them away in the folds of garment. Again, take a few of these and throw them into the fire and burn them up. My fire will spread from there to all Israel. This is what the sovereign Lord says. This is Jerusalem, which I have set in the center of the nations, with countries all around her. Yet in her wickedness she has rebelled against my law and decrees more than the nations and the countries around her. She has rejected my laws and has not followed my decrees. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. You have been more unruly than the nations around you, and have not followed my decrees, or kept my law. You have not even confirmed to the standard of the nations all around you. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I myself am against you, Jerusalem, and I will inflict punishment on you in the sight of the nations because of all your detestable idols. I will do to you what I have done before, and I will never do it again. Therefore, in your midst, parents will eat their children, and children will eat their parents. I will inflict punishment on you, and will scatter all your survivors to the winds. Therefore, as surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, because you have defiled my sanctuary with all your vile images and detestable practices, I myself will shave you. I will not look on you with pity or spare. A third of your people will die of the plague, perish by a famine inside you. A third will fall by the sword outside of your walls, and a third will scatter to the wind and pursue with drawn swords. Then my anger will cease, and my wrath against you will subdue, and I will be avenged. And when I spent my wrath on them, they will know that I, the Lord, have spoken to Zion, in my Zion. I will make you a ruin and reproach among the nations around you, in the sight of all who bypass. You will be reproached, and a taunt, a warning, and an object of horror to the nations around you, when I inflict punishment on you in anger and wrath, and with stinging rebuke. I, the Lord, have spoken when I shot at you with my deadly and destructive arrow of famine. I will shoot to destroy you. I will bring more and more famine upon you, and cut off your supply of food. I will send famine and wild beasts against you, and they will leave you childless. Plague and bloodshed will sweep through you, and I will bring the sword against you. The Lord, have spoken. So again, he's saying that everybody that didn't obey his command, pretty much, he's gonna send every damaging thing that the Lord can do. He's gonna send it against them. So, all right. Doom for the mountains of Israel, chapter 6. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, set your face against the mountain of Israel, prophesy against them, and say, you mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord, the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to the mountains and hills, to the ravines and valleys. I am about to bring a sword against you, and I will destroy your high places. Your altars will be demolished, and your incense altars will be smashed, and I will slay your people in front of your idols. I will lay the dead bodies of Israelites, in front of their idols, and I will scatter your bones around your altars. Wherever you live, the towns will be laid waste, and in high places demolished, so that your altars will be laid waste and devastated, your idols smashed and ruined, your incense altars broken down, and what you have made wiped out. Your people will fall slain among you, and you will know that I am the Lord. But I will spare some, for some of you will escape the sword when you are scattered among the nations. Then the nations where they have been carried captive, those who escape will remember me, who I have been grieved by the adulterer's heart, when have uh, which have turned away from me, and by their eyes, which they have lusted after their idols, they will loathe themselves for the evil they have done, and for all their detestable practices. And they will know that I am the Lord. I did not threaten in vain to bring the calamity on them. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Strike your hands together and stamp your feet and cry, alas, because of all the wicked and detestable practices of the people of Israel, for they will fall by the sword, famine and plague. One who is far away will die of the plague, and one who is near will fall by the sword, and anyone who survives and spreads will die of famine. So I will pour out my wrath on them, and they will know that I am the Lord, when the people lie slain among the idols around their altars, on every high hill and all mountain tops, under every spreading tree and leafy oak place where they offered fragrant incense to all idols, and I will stretch out my hand against them, and will make the land a desolate waste, for the desert to Debali. Wherever they live, they will know that I am the Lord. All right. Yeah, basically the Lord is saying about how he's going to, you know, destroy most of the land because he's just, again, people weren't, praising him and worshiping him, and that's why, like, he was talking about laying waste to the entire land. Um, but yeah, that's again, that's what happens when you don't follow what the Lord says, or you worship a different God or something like that. The Lord gets mad about it, and you know, an example, you know, to those of you out there that don't follow God, some of you guys, I see it in you, and this is when I was in Florida, I would see it in people in Florida who they didn't believe in God, and what you would see is you would see them as a person just like do stuff to their whole entire body, like, you know, dye their hair, like get face tattoos, stuff like that, and get piercings and all that. And I'm just like, you know, I don't really like, because that's a human being. Okay, they have. So when I think is when I see a person, when I see like a beautiful woman get a face tattoo, I'm like, there has to be some sort of like demon dwelling inside that woman or something like that. So but yeah, like that's what happens. Like, you know, these people are so busy worshiping other gods that like it turns them into like something that looks less than a human being. And we see that in some other communities, which I'm not going to really talk about here too much. But we know what communities I'm talking about. We see that in a community that's based around sexuality, and it's become a big problem. And then we see it in other communities based on, you know, their cultures and stuff like that. And it's Just like it's 2024. We're not supposed to be like this, but we are. There's a reason God did all this long ago, but hey. But anyway, guys, God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Take it easy, and I'll be seeing you later on. Today maybe I'll put up another video later on today, but just keep an eye out for the next video. Take it easy.